Greetings, theists and non-theists. I'm the Atheist Paladin. I'm going to respond one last time to DawahFilms and his comments that he made in reply. And of course, they don't address anything that I really brought up, or at least not the substantive parts. First of all, if you want to say that I'm strawmanning you, no, I'm not. But I'll explain myself. Okay, for one, in your video comments or in the video description, you're claiming that you are dealing with the majority of the atheist claims. Then you claim that atheists are arguing through the baby's method of the naturalness of atheism. Your words. What I was doing is calling bullshit on that. That somehow atheists are arguing for the naturalness of atheism via babies. All in the context of the burden of proof. No. I'm just calling BS on that, and it's really a semantical thing, and not dealing with burden of proof or anything like that. Babies could be atheists, and theism could be true. That is theoretically possible. It could also be vice versa, is theoretically true, that babies are theists, but atheism is true. Whether or not something is natural to one's belief, or innate in their processes, does not speak to the truth of the matter. So whether or not you have this point, DawahFilms, it really doesn't strengthen your argument at all. So I'll just gradually drop the issue and concede it to you. Then you say, you firmly assert that your negative theism is not a double negative. Okay, what is that you say negative theism is? The belief that atheism is not justified. But what is atheism? The belief in God is not justified. So negative theism is the belief that not believing in God is not justified, not justified. Again, okay. Two double things. And then somehow that is a position that doesn't hold a burden of proof? How do you believe that atheism is not justified without actually thinking that there's evidence for God? If an atheist does not believe in God's existence, and you think he is incorrect in that matter, how would you do that without making some sort of claim, without making some sort of ontological claim? You can't. So, again, it's a double negative, it fails, it does not shift the burden of proof. Atheism and theism are not the same thing, so you can't take a negative position to another negative position. That's what atheism is. I don't believe in your claims. You have to do better. You can't turn around, well, I don't believe and you're not believing is justified. Your argument is childish, and you're the only one making it. Atheists are not making the childish argument. So, go back to the drawing board and make a better argument. Further, you want to turn around and say that that you weren't claiming that theism was the default position. Okay, you'll have that. You didn't do so directly, but for one, this argument or style of argumentation isn't new for you. This isn't the first time you haven't claimed atheism is not the default position. I mean, I remember the whole Rational Dawn episode where you introduced the similar type of argument. But there is still an underlying problem. One, he said, atheism is not the default position. Okay. Between atheism and theism, is there any other option? Any other option at all? No, you either believe in a God or you don't. So that means theism, by the law of excluded middle, is a default position. If you don't want to say something like that, that's fine. If you want to go on, well, I don't really believe that anything is in the default position. But you actually do agree that there is such a thing as the default position. And then you also say that the default position should be something positive. Okay. What are you proposing? Obviously, a theist is not going to turn around and propose that strong atheism should be the default position, because it proposes something positive. It's not a positive ontological claim, it's a metaphysical one. Claiming that contradictions can't exist isn't an ontological one, but a metaphysical claim. But really, DawahFilms, you really didn't agree at all that some things need to be proven. And you resist that whole notion completely in that video and in your comments. And you say that atheists somehow resist the ideas that not all claims need to be proven in order to be rational. But they do. At least for once. Not all claims need to be proven in order to be rational. It all depends on what the claim is making. You know, what sort of thing is the claim talking about? Saying that all claims need to be proven, it's not making a claim in and of itself. It's an ontological method. You remember ontological parsimony, that whole thing? It's just an ontological method of determining what's real and what's not. So if you want to claim that God exists, which is an ontological preposition, or a proposition that is true, then how can you do it without presenting no evidence? You can't. So the burden of proof is on you. I think this whole issue is rather simple, and you're trying to go about it the wrong way. So that's it. I am the Atheist Paladin, and remember people, rationality is the path to righteousness.